Good, good morning, good day, amazing ones. I'd like to follow up a little bit on our previous vlog, which was around self-esteem, the distinction between self-esteem and self-worth. And what was coming through to share today was something we touched on a little bit in that video. Was rather than using our mind, our brain, to discern what is truth based on evidentiary value, based on knowledge. A teacher of mine shared with us once that knowledge has replaced wisdom within this world, within this culture, this Western culture in particular, and that we're no longer discerning the truth of something through our heart and through our inner child, or our, what we call that gut feeling, or many of us call it gut feeling. We're now discerning truth based on the evidentiary value of the information, or what knowledge is being given to us. And so in that knowledge replacing wisdom, we've lost that intuitive connection that comes through the heart and through the inner child as to what feels like truth. Truth is something that's very different to each being. You know, there is absolute truth that is known as our source knows. And so through the thinking mind, we touched on this last time as well, the thinking mind is a subsystem to the metasystem of the intuitive mind, or as what Jung referred to as the collective unconscious. And so through the heart space, through our inner child, we can connect with all of that wisdom that has come before Todd in this incarnation, you know, making the distinction between the self, the eternal being, and Todd, the ego, the personality that has incarnated in this life to become aware of what self's attachments are on the soul level. When we look at things based on us as three beings, as essence, spirit, and soul. So when we tune in with that heart space, we're able to connect with our own self-worth and connect with what we really feel is truth. And that truth may be different than what your neighbor feels, what your partner feels, what your husband or wife feels, you know, what your friends feel, what your business colleagues feel. It is, however, your truth, and the truth that you know, that you feel to be coming from the wisdom that just is, and that guides you on your path and within your life. And that ultimately is what we're doing here. Not being without focusing on the self solely as with disregard for everyone else, or without regard for anyone else. It is about putting self first, honoring what is truth to self, what self requires in this life, in the lives that this eternal being has moved through, and knowing that comes first in a space that honors all other beings who are being with what those individual selves place as truth, honor as truth. And that is without being done through the thinking mind. There's a very limited place that rational linear thought progression will take us in the thinking mind. What I feel is required right now in this world is up-leveling that, is taking that to another level, and that can be gained through the heart and through the inner child. And as we like to refer to, that's the place where we get to know our greatness. We get to come to a deeper understanding, a deeper connection with our unique talents and abilities that only this individual self has brought to this life. And those are the things that we've come to share. And they may be the same unique talents and abilities as someone else, yet the way you share them and the way that person shares them are two individual things. Here's your own unique flair, your own unique essence that will be placed on those unique talents and abilities that you share. And that to me is a very exciting, I would say, concept, but it's something that just is. And when we come from that place, we recognize that we're all ministers in that way, and our ministry is what our unique talents and abilities are. And they could be anything from, anything you can think of, from riding horses and sharing with others about riding horses. It could be about rock climbing and sharing with others about rock climbing and practicing, applying yourself at that craft to the highest level of your ability. And it starts to open things up, is what it's been about for self. Starts to open things up into a larger space than what my thinking mind can understand, and how I can rationalize for what reasons that would be a beneficial choice or not. Oftentimes, without being able to rationalize what our heart and what our inner child is telling us, it's just a matter of following it and living with the amazing choices that flow from that when we live from that place. So I'd like to ask you, and I welcome your comments. What if you lived more from your intuitive wisdom that flows through your heart and flows through your inner child? What would that look like? What if today we contemplated wisdom over knowledge? What if we were, without placing the same emphasis on all that information coming at us, and discerning that in the heart space and the inner child, in our gut? What would that look like to you? What does that look like to you? So thanks very much for checking this out. We'll be back soon with another little vlog. And know we love you, know you are amazing. And we look forward to connecting soon. To an amazing day. Aloha.